Streetcar Named Desire, Scene 9. So this is some of the basic summary for this scene. If you need a quick refresh, you can pause the video here and kind of review what happened in the scene. So one of the key themes that comes up in this scene, really throughout the play, are the way dreams mix in with reality. And Blanche has a famous line here of, "I'll tell you what I want, magic." And sometimes we see Blanche as deceptive or manipulative, especially when it comes to men. But Williams tries to paint her in a somewhat sympathetic light. She doesn't lie because she wants to deceive people. She lies because she's trying to make her world a better place. And while that is manipulation, it's also a commentary on Blanche. She cannot accept the world the way it really is. She wants to dress it up in the colors of butterfly wings. She wants it to be a better place. This is a famous line. I don't want realism, I want magic. We started questioning Blanche's mental state quite a while ago, especially scene 5 where she kisses the young boy. She's clearly unhinged. She's clearly not well. However, this is the scene where we really have to start to wonder if she's sane at all. Although she's lucid in her conversation with Mitch, she definitely kind of stumbles into insanity. She starts to talk to herself a bit. Her stories and recollections are switching between past and present. She hears the Mexican woman on the street, and then that triggers a different reaction that she can't think in a linear fashion. And in this scene, again, we see how Blanche refuses to be seen under a bright light. Since the death of Alan Gray, she has lived with nothing in her life stronger than candlelight. And on a physical level, Blanche avoids the light to prevent others from seeing her fading beauty. But light also for her represents a past that haunts her after the death of her husband. That once his bright spotlight of love was gone, the world was not the same. In a way, her later promiscuity can be seen as an attempt to find that spark or that light of passion to light up her gloomy world. And if we look at it like that, it may change the way you see Blanche. However, Mitch takes a light and he turns the light on her and he stares at her. He makes her face the truth. And this exposure to light causes her pain and suffering because of her ugly past. And this is actually more of a Stanley kind of behavior. Mitch is really fed up here that he can't stand her deceptions anymore. Throughout the play, drinking has come up as well. In this scene, it's important because Mitch shows up, he's been drinking, and we see a very different side of him. He's always been kind of the doppelganger to Stanley. Stanley's aggressive, he's coarse, he's rude. And Mitch has always been the kind, polite, thoughtful man. Here, however, he is treating Blanche like the other men, expecting her to sleep with him. And he comes saying, I'm here for what I've been missing all summer. Maybe Mitch isn't as barbarous as Stanley, but he's still quite forceful here. So both, Stanley, Steve, Mitch, when they drink, they become violent. And I think Williams is making a comment here about how people lose themselves in things like alcohol and desire. The polka continues to be important in this scene, that when Mitch shows up, Blanche begins to act again like the innocent young girl, and the polka music stops. But as soon as she realizes something's wrong, that Mitch is not going to act the way he always has, the music starts again. And the polka is representative of her past that she wants to escape from, but she finds herself trapped in. She sees Mitch as a way out. And when he acts like every other man she's known, she realizes he's not her way out. She's still trapped. And so this kind of feverish pace of the music makes her feel trapped. It makes her feel uncomfortable. It also represents kind of her impending madness. If she doesn't get out of all of this, she's just going to go completely crazy. Now, in this scene, we start to see death as a motif. We have the flower vendor outside who's yelling, flowers for the dead, flowers for the dead. And we have that reference very early on in the play that the Stanley and Stella live at Elysian Fields, which we talked about in the Scene 1 video, is a reference to the underworld. Blanche not only is they're staying in the Elysian Fields, but she also transferred from a streetcar named Cemetery. So we had those early references to death. We had the idea of Belle Reve was lost because of death. And here, the floral vendor calling out about flowers for the dead. And these three parts throughout the play, these like kind of touchstones of death, they help us realize Blanche's fears of aging, her loss of beauty. These are all an extension of death for her. If she doesn't have her youth, if she doesn't have her beauty, she's dead like she's in a cemetery, or she's dead like Belle Reve, or she's dead like the woman selling the flowers, outside, that without beauty, she's nothing. And Blanche here, bless her heart, she says, then marry me, Mitch. This idea that she just wants to get out, she just wants an escape. In marriage, she sees as her only way out. And this may explain why she's had so many inappropriate relationships with men in the past, that she's just trying to find a way out. However, it's a vicious cycle. She has these affairs with strange men, and in an attempt to escape, Mitch finds out he's not interested. So the things she's done in her past to try to escape end up trapping her in the future. It's really quite sad. So there is a degree of sympathy created for Blanche here in this scene, and she really is almost like a moth-like creature. She can't help but destroy herself. She's over delicate, she's oversensitive, and I think she's really quite pitiful. You might still be hating her a bit, but I see her as desperate, delusional, hysterical. She's right on the verge of a breakdown. She has to either get out or she's going to fall apart. We're also kind of given some insight into the relationship right now between Mitch and Blanche. He tears the lantern off the light bulb. He shines the light on her. He is, like so many other people, he's absolutely fed up with her. And so while we may feel sympathetic towards Blanche, Mitch does not. He's going to condemn her for her past behaviors. In fact, he says she's not clean enough to bring in the house, which is, such a hard thing to say, such a mean thing for him to say to her. So again, Mitch's character in this scene is really shown in a different light. When he drinks, he's unshaven, he's rugged, he's confrontational, he's rude. He tries to embrace her, and even some critics suggest that this might be an attempted rape, that he says he's come for what he's been missing all summer. And Blanche in scene 5 said she won't sleep with him. She'll give him a kiss, but she's not going to sleep with him. So some people see this as maybe, when Mitch has been drinking, he becomes sexually aggressive. It's kind of a scary thought. This scene is really important because this is how we learn about, that Mitch is not going to marry Blanche. Mitch is not going to rescue her. And the tension in the scene is really heightened because now Blanche realizes her way out is falling apart. She's trapped here. And this scene really helps to exemplify Blanche's breakdown and portray her at her lowest before the next scene. This is the moment, where she's truly broken. And in a sense, the scene is climactic because Mitch was Blanche's last hope, a hope she's now lost. And this establishes an atmosphere of impending doom for the final two scenes of the play.